Third one is make it easy. First one was make it obvious. The second one was make it attractive. Now make it easy is the third one. So let's see what make it easy is about. Repetition. So this is a key point about habits. Repetition is more important than duration. Habits are not based on time. They are based on repetition. So the point here, and I've given you an example here. So if you were to read 20 pages of Qur'an, say tonight or once a month, that only means 12 repetitions per year. Okay? 12 repetitions only. Whereas if you read one page of Quran per day, that's 365 repetitions per year. Okay. So this repetition is what's important. By doing it over and over, you are rewiring your brain into this new habit. Whereas if you read 20 pages, that's fantastic. Reading 20 pages of Quran is fantastic, but you're doing it once a month. By the time month 2 comes, your brain has to come back into it, focus on it, and so forth. So repetition is more important than the duration. That's why the small things that you do regularly, consistently, are very powerful. Also, reduce the friction. The law of least effort. And for this, again, subhanAllah, I thought of this hadith. Our Prophet ﷺ says, make things easy for the people and do not make it difficult for them. So making things, again, it's in human nature. If something is easy for us to do, we're more likely to do it. Okay. And make them calm with the glad tidings and do not repulse them. So in this book, James Clear also talks about reducing friction. The law of least effort. Think, what is the least effort that's needed? Habits are more likely to occur if they require less energy. So if something needs a lot of energy, then you're less likely to do it. You're less likely to be successful in creating that habit because it requires so much effort from your part. So the bigger the obstacle, the more friction there is between you and the desired outcome. So the key is to reduce the friction, make the obstacle as small as possible so that you are likely to do it and to continue to do it. So, for example, reading Quran for 5 minutes compared to an hour. Reading Quran 1 hour a day, for some of you, that might be very achievable and you might be doing that. But for some of you, that would be like, wow, there's no way I can do that. But for many of you, I would say about 95% of you, reading Quran for 5 minutes a day is very doable. Like you might even put your stopwatch on just to make sure you get the 5 minutes done, but you can actually easily read 5 minutes of Quran a day. So you can see how it's the same thing. You're reading Quran, it's the same concept, but less friction if you say, I'm starting with 5 minutes a day. So again, saying fasting every second Monday. Say you want to do the Sunnah fasting every second Monday compared to every Monday and Thursday. Again, much doable. Okay, that's one fast every 2 weeks rather than 4 fasts in 2 weeks. You're more likely to stick to doing that particular habit unless you do it anyway. Say you want to listen to Islamic lectures and you've always, you want to improve your knowledge by listening to amazing lecturers, but listening to a lecture every single day might seem like such a strain for you, so difficult. Listen for 5 minutes. Because if you listen for 5 minutes every day, in 7 days, that means you've listened for 35 minutes. And that's quite a bit of content to get through. Whereas if you say, no, I'm going to go with 30 minutes a day, by day 2 or day 3, you probably give up. You'll say, this is too much. I can't do it. So reduce the friction by setting yourself these small goals, which you are more likely to achieve and continue with. Another thing is prime the environment for use. This is another point. So create the environment, make it, such that you're likely to do what you want to do. He gives the example, James Clear, of exercise. Lay out your exercise clothes from the night before in preparation for the morning. Because when you wake up and all your clothes are laid there, ready for you to do your run or your jog, you're more likely to do it because it's there. Whereas if you wake up and then you've got to scramble through your clothes and find your exercise clothes, less likely. Okay. The next example, healthier snacks. If you keep a bowl of fruit on your kitchen bench top, you're more likely to eat fruit than if the fruit is tucked away in your fridge at the bottom, at the back somewhere, because then it's like you've got to first remember that you've got fruit in the fridge, then you got to go looking for it. You can see how that causes friction as well. Whereas if it's sitting on the bench top, more likely. Making dua. Say you want to make more dua. That's one of your, ambitions. One thing you can do is keep a dua list, next to your bed, on the bedside table, where you've got your loved ones or names on there or personal goals. Like it could be, four or five, list points or lines long, but having that there just makes it easy because you don't have to think, oh, okay, what do I make dua about now? What was it that I wanted? It's there. So by priming your environment like that, you're more likely to make dua. Say with dhikr, you want to do more dhikr. You want to remember Allah more. Keeping a dhikr counter in your car, for example, so okay, when I get in my car, oh, the dhikr counter's there. You pick it up and you start making dhikr. So those kind of priming your environment, making it more conducive so that you are more likely to do that thing that you want to do can go a long way as well. The other point is the 2-minute rule that he talks about. And this can really stop with the procrastinating because you're not thinking, wow, again, this task is too big, but you have this 2-minute rule where you think, okay, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this, but I'm only going to do it for 2 minutes. So it could be like a negotiation with yourself. And you decide, okay, the 2 minutes. So, for example, rather than saying, well, I'm going to run a marathon and then, you sleep on it and then you wake up thinking, no way, I'm not running a marathon. You start with a 2-minute action. And the key is that James Clear mentions is that you have to only do it for 2 minutes to start with. So the first part could be putting your runners on and stretching. You do the stretch. Okay. And then the next day you do it again and so forth. Say you want to read an hour per day. Again, initially that's like, wow, I can't read for an hour a day. That is just way too much. So you can make it a 2-minute. I'm only going to read for 2 minutes. That's it. No more than 2 minutes. And let's say it takes you, let's say it's one page takes you 2 minutes. So that's all you do. By doing that, by reading, say, one page every day, you're starting to again create this new habit. So you can see how it works. It can be quite powerful. Listening to a 1 hour Islamic lecture per day. So let's say that's your goal ultimately. I want to listen to a 1 hour lecture on a particular topic, let's say. Say you're listening to the lives of the prophets, but 1 hour every day. Again, that might seem like a lot. Start off with 2 minutes. Listen to the lecture for 2 minutes, and then tomorrow, 2 minutes, the day after 2 minutes, and so forth. Making lengthy du'as. You must say, I really don't do enough du'a. I really want to make du'a to Allah more often and lengthier. Mine are just so brief and so forth. 2 minutes. Open your palms and make dua for the things that you desperately want. So you don't need to think too much. 2 minutes. Oh Allah, grant me this. Oh Allah, forgive me. Oh Allah, grant me Jannah. Again, just 2 minutes and you've started that habit. The key thing with this is you're stopping the procrastinating. You're not procrastinating. You're starting doing something. And because it's not something big that you're doing, you're only doing it for 2 minutes. Again, you are more likely to do it. And that's why the 2-minute action is something James Clear recommends.